and gentlemen. Welcome to Facts and Smiles. I'm Miles.
And I'm Max.
Sit back and relax, grab your favorite snacks, because we're about to dive into Who Wrestle with God by Jordan Peterson.
Hell yeah. Bars, too.
Bars and a half, dude. Did you make it through chapter 2?
Yep.
Nice.
Did you?
Yeah. I was marathoning it today, and I looked down and I was like, shoot, I'm in chapter 3.
You're in
When did
chapter
that
3?
happen? Yeah, I didn't realize when it switched over. I didn't get that far in, but yeah, honestly,
How many chapters are there?
so far, mixed feelings.
Yes, I 100% agree. 100% agree.
I don't know if you've read Maps of Meaning yet. There are 9 chapters.
9 chapters, yeah. No, I haven't.
But I read Maps of Meaning before I'd ever read Karl Popper. Before I really found the truth, the ultimate answer to life, the universe, and everything.
42, Karl Popper. Yeah.
Yeah. And my first impression of Who Wrestle with God was like, oh man, he's just behind Karl Popper. Like he's not. Like yeah, he's like he opens up and starts solving the problem of induction, like as if we haven't solved the problem of induction. Like, come on, we solved this in the 60s. Like, we figured this out. I don't think it was the 60s. I think it was like the 40s. But Hume raised the problem of induction very well, and Karl Popper absolutely succinctly answers everything. And Jordan Peterson goes like, well, you know, people think that, and he's been saying this on his podcast tours too.
Yeah.
People think that like you can just, the facts speak for themselves, but they don't. And it's like, yeah. It's worth repeating because people still think induction's a real thing. And he gets into this in chapter 2. I think he addresses it really well. At least the problem of like the widespreadness of inductive thinking, like in the scientific community.
Yeah, when he's talking about how no one ever asks where revelation comes from or where their idea or where the hypothesis comes from. It's like, suddenly it came to me, or I realized, or et cetera, but there's never any, well, where did that come from? It's just taken for granted that, oh yeah.
And that's the thing. That's one thing that like Karl Popper totally, he had no answer for. He was like, this is an open question now. Now the question is, where do our insights come from? But I do think Peterson's a little bit better. Because obviously, like, it's a psychological question to some extent.
Interestingly, though, he doesn't even, although I do think we should go chronologically, but just to finish this last point, even though he does tackle that nicely, he doesn't really give an answer as to where that comes from. I mean, he might...
Insight?
Yeah. He... also, one thing that I'm sure we're going to get into is... I don't know. I'm kind of done with the whole God is the spirit, etc., yada, yada, yada shtick. Like, I get what he's trying to say, but also, what does that even mean? I've been thinking more and more about that, and it just comes across as him saying God without wanting to say God. Because, okay, what is the spirit that drives you forward? The spirit, what is that?
Manifests the call to adventure.
Yeah, like, what is that? You know, is that something tangible? Is that a personal thing? Is that, what is that? And he doesn't really answer that. He's just like, well, it's a definition. It's like, okay, well, cool.
Yeah, it's not
cool, but
yeah.
Anyway, we'll get into that. I'm sure.
We'll definitely get into that. So, he quotes Daniel Dennett, who calls this idea that the facts don't speak for themselves a new epistemological problem, which I thought was hilarious. Just because it's not remotely new at all. Yeah. It's like, what's his name? Anaximander Salamander.
Coriander?
Yeah.
Alexander.
Zeno? I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Anaximander. But back in the day, he said that, I guess this was a different question that he answered. Never mind. But that all is a woven web of guesses. This problem of like the infinite regress of doubt that we will get into later. But anyways, in the intro. One thing that stuck out to me was how he says, like, he relates to Jacob's ladder. He talks about Jacob's ladder all the time.
Yeah.
But he goes, like, it's essentially the same thing as Sisyphus's, like, punishment in Hades. Like, they're basically two sides of the same coin. Like,
right.
No matter what we're doing, the best we can do is just an upward climb.
Yep.
And either you can, like, it's like the old, the classic trope of, like, what if Sisyphus enjoyed pushing the boulder?
Yeah. But also it would have to be a new mountain. Because he uses that imagery of mountain a ton, which is where he points to God about. It's like we see God on the mountaintop because that's where you're always upward striving. And then once you overcome a challenge, then it's on to the next challenge. And so God's depicted on a mountain because you might think of God as the spirit that beckons you upward. And every time you conquer some part of yourself that needs to be thrown away, he gets later to that with hell. Every time you overcome a new challenge, then there's another challenge to overcome. And so, like you're talking about Jacob's ladder and Sisyphus, you're never done going upward.
Yeah, and that's why Sisyphus is in Hades, because he's failing to conquer the same hill
right
over and over again forever.
It'd be like if you were trying to, I don't know, overcome addiction to alcohol. And every time you think you're about to, boom, you go right back to getting drunk again, wasted. Yeah.
Yeah. Sisyphean feat.
Oh, nice word. Is that a word?
Sisyphean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. What else did he talk about? I mean, the intro is kind of just him doing here's the layout of God as the spirit that yada yada yada, and then each chapter is him getting really into the what's the word I'm looking for? Getting into the meat. Getting into the meat of what it means to say God is this spirit that does this, and here's how it looks in each story. Oh yeah, he also brings in the idea of sacrifice, that the reason that in the Old Testament stories we have this idea of sacrificing to God, and we have the story of Abraham going up the mountain to sacrifice his son, even though he doesn't actually. But the idea is that God is the spirit. Any upward striving is going to require you to cleave something off, something that's not worthy, something that's holding you back. So in moving upward to some goal, you have to sacrifice something. And so that's why we see God depicted always in reference to sacrificing something, whether it's animals or whatever the case may be. It's because in order to reach what is good, you have to get rid of what is bad, because you're not perfect, and so it's continuous sacrifice, and you're working upward.
Yeah, and his like explanation of that, the sacrificing, like even your own son, is that, like, God is that which everything should be sacrificed for.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he says that's a definition. That's not a definition. That's yeah.
He says everything's a definition. Like, hey, don't come at me, bro. Don't come at me. This is a definition.
If it's a definition, then what else do you mean with God is not a definition.
Exactly.
You can't have it all be a definition.
Yeah. God is a spirit that does, X billion things. It's definition. Like, dude, what?
Yeah. It's a claim. It's a claim that they're making, not a definition. Yeah. So
that's actually a really good point. A claim, because I don't know if you saw his recent thing on Jubilee.
Just like a clip of it.
Yeah. Not worth it.
It
disappointed me. In fact, so this is a discussion for a different day. I think the Jordan Peterson of old that stirred the spirits of the youth is kind of decaying.
Really?
Because I've heard people saying he's changed. I tested it out, so I watched every episode he's been on Rogan in chronological order. Yeah, he's changed.
Really?
Old Peterson, like 2017, 2019, that's like prime Peterson. That's where he's on Rogan. He's just talking about bettering your life, being a better person. Why are there issues with masculinity, issues with femininity? How do those reconcile with each other? Really more in depth with the psychological. He cares way less about politics in the old days. Like, if anything, he kind of like he equally targets both sides with their faults and failings, but he doesn't really concern himself with that kind of thing. And he's also just more. He's more calm, more inquisitive, more relaxed. And when you see him now, he's more tense. He's more. Anyone who disagrees with me is a narcissist kind of deal, and to hell with the whatever. It just he's changed. Anyway, that's a different discussion. Back to this. So he does the different spirit sacrifice. What else? Oh, he talks about how when you put something incorrect at the pinnacle, then you get devastation. He compares that to when, in the time of the prophet Elijah, we have King Ahab on the throne, and they're worshiping false gods, and the parable of when he goes to the widow, like the whole place is desolate, it's barren, everything. And so when you put false idols, whatever that might be in your own life, at the top of the mountain, you're going to be, your world's going to get worse. And then he uses the example of the widow to say it, that no matter what the circumstances are, we're always called to enact an upward striving. Always. Yeah. There's no excuse to, oh, well, my situation's so terrible, therefore I can engage in bitter resentment towards the world. It's like, no, you're always called to aim upward.
And he makes the point, it's been made many times, but it's worth driving home again, that like abundance is completely predicated on morality. Or
yes.
not 100%, but you
right.
don't get abundance without morality. And that's why, systems like, obviously, King Ahab, but in the modern day, you get systems like communism and fascism, where it's like you're putting the state in the spot where God should be. And of course, you're not going to have abundance. In fact, spoilers later, he even says, like, the individuals cannot be simply subservient to the state. Like, often leaders, like, obviously, secular leaders say, like, oh, your human rights, they're given to you by the state, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, that's, like, literally wrong.
Right.
Because in reality, it's the other way around. The state only exists insofar as it like respects the actual like God-given human rights that people have. Otherwise, the state degenerates. Which I thought, fire.
Yeah.
But you see that in the King Ahab story with the widow. He brings up an interesting point that like widowhood is kind of the pinnacle of like cosmic injustice. It's like, well,
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I thought it was. Look, there are more cosmically unjust things, but like, you married some guy, you settled down, you had a kid or two, and then he dies, and now it's like, in the ancient world, it's like, okay, well, what do? You beg and then you starve because there's just there is no. Now we live in an age of abundance. Luckily. In the ancient days.
Well, also an age of opportunity too.
Yes. If you're a single mother, you can
get a job.
Start. Yeah, you can get an OnlyFans. But
times have changed for sure.
Yeah. No, but you like there are infinite jobs.
Yes.
You can make money online in lots of completely moral ways.
Yes. Or like a job that's not online, but sure.
Yeah. Well, but the best jobs, you start an online social media marketing business.
Yeah, crazy.
And I can teach you how to do that for
a small
$2K
fee.
a month.
Yeah, small fee.
Yeah.
$2K.
We'll get you up to $20K a month, and then, come on, at that point, the $2K a month, it's worth it. So, all this to say, the fact that, he's driving the point that like even a widow who's like basically seems like she's in a completely helpless state, God will provide for her, and abundance is still predicated on morality, even when it seems like there's nothing, like there's no way that she can make it. Like, God
right, because when Elijah comes, there's the reward right there. Oh yeah, he also talks about in regard to sacrifice that it's not just cleaving what's imperfect. It's setting aside other possible goods in pursuit of it, the one good. And it kind of reminded me of my thesis, which you can find at factsandsmiles.com. Anyway,
factsandsmiles.com/thesis.
Yeah, exactly. Hyperlink that in the description below. But anyway, so I talked a lot about in my thesis the experience of meaning is to experience meaning is to pursue an aimed at self, a self that you want to be, and it's to put aside the pursuit of other possible selves. So in experiencing meaning, you have a goal, like a person you want to become, someone you want to be. And in pursuing that person, you're going to set aside other people. Like, let's say a person you want to be is someone who is fit. That's a simple example. You're putting aside or someone who's fit and chaste. How about that? We'll do two. Like we'll do two for. You're setting aside the intemperate person, the lustful person, the fat person, the overweight person, the inactive person. Right? You're setting aside possible selves you could be. You're putting them away in pursuit of this self, and maybe that's going to also affect other selves that you could be. Like the person who is able to, work 80 hours a week. Maybe you set that self aside. Maybe you pursue that. When you pursue that self, you set aside the self who can be with friends all the time. But in other words, the idea is that when you have a goal, like what he's saying right here, you're going to put aside other possible goals, and that's what makes it worthwhile. That's what you're sacrificing in a sense. You're sacrificing. Sometimes you're cleaving what's bad, but sometimes you're sacrificing other goods to achieve this good.
Yeah, and that harkens back to the Abraham sacrificing Isaac story. But no, that's good.
I think that then he also says that stories is how we see the world, which is cool. That's nice.
And then see what kind of bothers me, like it's like sure, obviously stories are how we see the world. I got that in Maps of Meaning. Yeah. And he goes like now like modern AI research proves this, and it's like all right, come on, we don't look. Yeah. I get it. He's SEO optimizing.
Yeah. I miss philosophical Peterson. Like we don't need everything to be like one thing I noticed a lot about this book. This isn't a bad thing, but it's heavily referenced with like scientific stuff. Like this research, whatever, or like these papers, whatever. That's fine, but I do kind of miss just like just philosophical musings. Just like Just stream of consciousness.
Fact check you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, you proof of that? It's like no, just like what are you thinking? Whatever. That's just nitpicking. I think go ahead.
I did think just bouncing off of that we see things through a story, but it's not just that like we see the story; it's that we make the story, right? Like every perception is an effort. He drives us home. Which again, if you read more Karl Popper, this would just be a lot simpler. But yeah, he's got this banger like 3 lines where he's like, "We're not simply the receivers of like self-evident truths. Like we don't just right. In fact, the truths that like to you maybe seem so self-evident, they only manifest themselves to you because you've like put yourself in the proper like state of humility." And you've ordered your psyche such that you've put God first. Yeah. And then it's like completely obvious to you that like I don't know, like pedophilia is wrong. Right. Whereas someone else they've mired themselves in depravity. And all of a sudden like it's not so obvious that like look, they're just minor attracted people. You know?
It's like when you have the truth, everything makes so much sense. Like things just seem
I don't know if I say
to me at least. I'm not saying that he's saying that. I'm saying to me it's like if you know certain things are true, other things just make total sense. Like you wouldn't even question it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'd say you still should question it, but
I'm never going to question if pedophilia is wrong because I just know.
I'm open to the criticism because I know I can make the arguments.
Right, but I think
it's not.
I think it's more helpful to it because we do have reason. We are rational beings, and with the gift of certain obviously with our own reason, but also with faith and knowledge and et cetera, we can know certain things.
Yeah.
And I think we can know. I think we can know certain things are wrong. And I think if we claim that we can't know that, then we fall into depravity.
I totally agree with you. We shouldn't be like, oh well, who's to say whether pedophilia is wrong? Like we can say, yes, we know pedophilia is wrong because of like this, and this, and like come at me, like try to prove that it's not wrong. By all means, like I'm open to the criticism.
I'm open to discussion, but I'm never gonna be like, I wonder if it actually is okay to rape kids. I don't know about that. Like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Certain things are right and wrong. Like
definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway,
but like 14. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, crazy.
What?
I say crazy. Anyway, dang, I forgot. Whatever. He kind of ends it. He ends it by saying that the Bible is, so we see the world through like a story, and the Bible is the foundational story of the West. That's what the West is built upon, is the biblical story of it, self-sacrifice and upward aiming. And while in a certain sense I think he's onto something, I think what's more accurate to say is that Christianity is the foundation of the West. It's not just the story that Bible Christianity tells. It's like it's all scripture. It really is. Okay, crazy. The Protestant. It really is. It's the faithful and the faith being enacted in the world. It's not just, oh wow, this amazing story. This really speaks to us, and then society comes about. No, it's living out the faith. Faith-minded people. That's what builds society.
Sure, but you get that from people like engaging with the Bible. It's not like you just get that.
What I'm saying is he seems to be saying that like what the message that Bible and Christianity gives us is what built the West. It's like actually like Christianity is what built the West. Like
I don't know if there's much of a difference.
I think there is. It's a subtle one, but I think there is. It's like maybe if I do an analogy, or if I can think of an analogy, like to me, at least, it seems to say that the story of the Bible, the story of Christianity, is to... maybe he's not saying this, but it seems to kind of take away from the concrete reality of Christ's death and resurrection and the salvation of the world. Like, that is what built the West. That reality, and Christians living out that reality, being faithful to God, going to church, living out the faith, that's what shaped the West. Not just this story that people found, oh wow, this is a pretty cool story. This is kind of inspiring. Maybe we should live like this. No, it's
the fact that it's true.
Yes,
like it actually,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm with you there.
Concretely true.
And he definitely, like, one of his more begrudging quotes was, "God doesn't have to be real to answer your prayers."
Yeah.
Okay. Which is like obviously he believes that because he's actually an atheist.
Right, he is. At the very least, agnostic, but I think atheist.
Yeah. Because
the thing is to throughout, and this is something we're going to get into later, I'm sure. But one of the reasons I found this more underwhelming is the whole. I mean, kind of the underpinning message of this book is, who gives a damn if Christianity is true? What matters is it makes the world a better place, and it makes you happier.
Which is exactly what Richard Dawkins said.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not only is it wrong, but it misses the whole point of, if, like St. Paul says, if Christ has not risen, our faith is meaningless. Like, okay. Like St. Paul says, pink. You know, you always go pink. Thanks. Anyway, so, like the great St. Paul says, if Christ is not risen, then our faith is meaningless. If this stuff didn't actually happen, then I guess what I'm saying is this: if Christianity is not true, the world is just as nihilistic a place if Christianity is not true.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, in other words, like, the atheist worldview of no God, no nothing, and the view of Christianity, who knows if it's true, but it makes us all live good lives and seems to make us happy, those eventually lead to the same nihilistic view of the world, where nothing actually matters. It's just about, like, well, how you feel in the moment, how life seems to be going for you now, society seems to do well with it. It's all well and dandy, but no, God's a personal being. You need to have a personal relationship with him.
Yeah.
And like he's real, heaven's real, hell's real. This is all real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so
and if it weren't real, it wouldn't matter whether you
exactly,
believe it or not.
exactly.
Your life still sucks. No matter, it doesn't matter how happy you are when you're living.
Exactly. And that's why it comes across to me as kind of him trying to. This is something that I've noticed with the new Peterson. He tries to play both sides of the line, where it's like I don't want to lose my respect and status in the scientific atheist community, but I also don't want to lose my hold on my Christian fans and like the religious people who really like me too. I want to maintain both camps, kind of thing. And
I don't know. I think he's at least genuine. I think what he's saying what he believes. I just think his.
No. When I say playing both sides, I don't mean he's like he actually believes God doesn't exist or does. I mean that like he's not. I think one of the reasons maybe he's not trying. Well, I don't know if that's fair, but he's not really saying anything substantial. Like it really is the same thing that Richard Dawkins said. It's the same thing as saying, well, you know what? Who's to say if working out's actually good for you? But we know that when people work out, they seem to be happy. So why don't you work out? Well, no, just either say, nope, it's not healthy for you, or say, no, it is, and do it. Because you can't live the Christian lifestyle or be Christian without actually worshiping God. And I guess what he's saying is, who cares about that? Just like follow the actual story, follow the message, aim upward, and all that stuff, spot on, true, accurate, and it's right. Like you should aim upward. You should sacrifice what's terrible in you, sacrifice some good to get to what's better. All that's true. But what's the end goal here? Like what's the ultimate point here? Because again,
is it thriving on earth, or
yeah.
is it like literally storing up your treasures in heaven because heaven is real?
Right. Because I think he would say the former. Did I get that right? Yeah.
The former.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I kind of like Chris Williamson, because he'll say like, man, he's obviously got a lot of respect for like the religious communities.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, it would be great just as like a productivity hack to be part of like a church, like a local church or something. But it just doesn't work if you don't actually believe it. That's the thing. That's the problem with it.
Exactly.
You just gotta find, Which, by the way, before we head into chapter 2, this
chapter
podcast,
1.
before we head into chapter 1,
yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Newtonic. Head to chriswillex.com/Newtonic/facts and smiles for a 15% discount.
What the hell is Newtonic?
Max. That's exactly what the script says to say. I'm glad you asked, Max. Newtonic is the world's first science-backed, clinically proven in trials and tribulations energy drink with just the right amount of caffeine, just the right amount of taurine, rhodiola rosea, everything you need, really. And it's all packed in one can. It'll keep you going throughout the night. It'll get you up in the morning. I
will say, quite literally, it is the perfect drink for all you weak soy boys out there.
All right, Max, come on.
Can't get up the own energy to actually, live your life and all that stuff.
Look, hey,
sure,
it happens to the best of us. Look, sometimes you just can't get it up, and you need a Newtonic.
And others of us just,
Stay
never
hard.
have that problem because we know how to treat our bodies well.
And if you want to treat your body well, use code Facts and Smiles.
Perfect.
For 15% off at Newtonic. Let's get back to the show. I totally forgot we weren't even in chapter 1 yet.
Let's get in there. Perfect, in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to finish this in 25 minutes. No, we have like 30 minutes.
I was gonna say. It's fitting. Yeah, the very first 1.1, God as creative spirit. It's like, here we go into all the spirits of God. And it's just...
He's just Buddhist at this point. He's like, God is one.
Yeah.
Or not Buddhist.
God is the spirit that does this, the spirit that does this, the spirit that gives life, the spirit that creates thriving, the spirit that calls you to moral order, the spirit that walks the line between chaos and order.
It's like, no. God just walks the line between chaos and order and gives life and calls to adventure.
Yeah.
He's not the spirit that does.
Yeah, and he is a personal being. He's not just this random... That's the thing, too. When you keep... Again, like I was saying earlier, when you say God is the spirit that... What the hell are you talking about? What is that spirit? is that a personal thing? Is that some sort of a mental?
The nebulous, it's just psychology.
Yeah,
it's a spirit that possesses you.
Right. It turns into this kind of weird. If anything, it makes it more confusing than just saying God is a personal being. It's like, well, where does that spirit come from? Is it anyway? Chaos and order.
Yeah, he gets off on the wrong foot by talking about like defining God as things, and I feel like he's kind of trying to come at truth through the back door. That's how I would put it.
Well, here he does talk about how we are created in the image of God, and he's right on here where he says that that's a presumption. No, that presumption is the foundation of Western culture. The foundation of
what was the presumption again?
That we're created in the image of God.
Yeah.
That it's the foundation of culture, Western culture. It's the foundation of good, healthy societies. That if you question that, you get tyranny, communism, Hitler, everything. Right? You get decay and destruction. This is just foundational principle. And I think he's right too when he says, "How else are you to know?" I don't know if he talks about this later, but how else are you to know if slavery is wrong? It's only wrong because we're made in the image of God, right? You can't give me an evolutionary reason or a concrete reason why slavery is wrong, right? He talks about how, if anything, it seems kind of counterintuitive because, well, I'm born with tons of wealth and power. Why aren't I better than people who have no wealth and no power?
Yeah.
Naturally, the way things are naturally, I'm better. Therefore, I'm also better spiritually.
That's the self-evident truth.
Exactly. It's self-evident. And so what he's saying is, well, no. We're all made in the image and likeness of God, and that presumption is what keeps society going. It's what makes things good. It's what gets rid of slavery. It's what makes us able to interact as a society, because we recognize that, oh, wait, we should treat each other well. And obviously, we would say that it's not a presumption, it's just the truth. But I get what he's saying.
And this is what I call the back door. Because he's going, look, it's necessary for society.
Yes.
To treat humans like they have a divine spark.
Yep.
If it weren't that way, we would go extinct as a species because we would fight each other to death because we wouldn't have any reason not to or whatever.
Right.
Whereas as Christians who clearly see the self-evident truth, we can see it's the other way around. We are made in the image of God. God tells us we're made in the image of God. Therefore, we have the necessary mindset towards other people that allows for society to thrive.
Yes.
Therefore, we've made it this far.
Yes.
Exactly. As a society.
Exactly.
And it's like as we become more secularized and forget that, then we have existential threats to human civilization.
Yep.
But yeah, the fact that this is like what we have to assume, it's like the Chris Williamson thing. Like, look, it would be great if we actually believe this, but you don't get to choose what you believe. You just believe what's true, what you think is true, or you lie to yourself, I guess. But
and he does the exact same thing here we were talking about earlier. That who's to say if it's true or not? But it makes society work well. It's just it's weak sauce.
Yeah, no, the truth actually matters.
Yes.
Like, if I put this down at a later point. Oh no, it was for this very thing. Look, if the actual fundamental truth of the universe were not this if it were somehow inconsistent with human survival, then we should die. That's how truth actually works. It's not like, oh well, whatever's necessary, that's what's true. It's like, no, it happens to be that we have a God who unifies truth, beauty, and goodness, and it happens that we live in a monotheistic universe. But what it means when Jesus says I am the truth, the way, the truth, and life, it doesn't mean that whatever's Jesus is true. It means that we know what truth means, and we know who Jesus this person is, and Jesus is true. He's true in the sense that everyone knows true means.
Yes.
Not in the sense that we have to believe in Jesus because otherwise we don't have a basis for Western culture.
Right. Yeah. It tears apart the whole meaning and reality of Christianity and religion itself. Either God exists and he wants us to love him, or he doesn't. And either we're doing what's right and thus reaping the good effects of it, or we're just deluding ourselves. for no reason.
And this is the thing that casual fans of Jordan Peterson don't get. They think, oh, he's like Christian adjacent. And it's like, no, he has an entire worldview that's completely antithetical to Christianity. Yeah. Even though he does like talk about how great Christianity is for society. Which, I think we can despoil the Egyptians, if you will. Also a motif I got from Jordan Peterson. The way that, I don't know if we brought this up in a previous podcast, but the Israelites, when they're fleeing Egypt, they don't just leave. They ask the Egyptians, hey, can you give us a bunch of jewelry and gold and stuff? And the Egyptians do. And it's this idea that, well, even though Egypt is evil, we can still take the good things out of Egypt that they come up with. We can, for lack of a better word, we can baptize Aristotle and say, even though he was, following
who
demons,
knows what pagan,
whatever,
demons, literally.
We still can find, like, he was still aiming up in some fashion, and he still made some pretty great things. Yeah. If you think that. I don't. Aristotle's super overrated, but
I think he's good, though.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, I agree with what you're saying. You can find, and that's why, I don't think Jordan Peterson's, a bad person or anything.
Well, I think we're all bad people.
Okay, moralist.
Moralist.
Yeah, crazy.
We all deserve to burn in hell.
You know what I'm... Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You're right. You know what I mean, though. I don't think he's
he's aiming up.
I don't think he's trying to tear apart Christianity or be malicious or anything like that. That's what I'm trying to say. But so we can definitely take, because again, he has some very good points here, some good observations. We've mentioned a couple of them already. Like all his talk about sacrifice, aiming up, all that stuff. It's all good and right. He just doesn't take what he's saying to its logical conclusion. He kind of avoids it.
He almost doesn't take himself seriously enough.
No, exactly. Yeah.
He's like, well, it's true in a way that's beyond what you think of as truth. It's like, no, or it's just true.
Yeah.
In the way that
it's
we
like,
all
what do you
know.
mean by believe? It's like, buddy. Oh, this is amazing. I gotta remember this. Yes. This just made me. This is chapter 2. We'll go back to chapter 1. But this quote it was, chef's kiss moment. The sheer irony of this. So, okay, he says, because Peterson's big thing is, and people ask him if he believes in God. What do you mean by believe it? How dare you assume, he gets, how... You
don't even know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What is God?
Yeah. You don't even know what you mean. How dare you assume, yada, 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 my brain is just, you can't even comprehend what it means to believe. What it means, what do you mean by God? You can't even comprehend that. Okay, buddy, this, chef's kiss. Okay, it's from Jordan Peterson's own mouth.
Hand.
Crazy, yeah. He says, thus we might, okay, so he's talking about creating our own values. Can we create our own values? And he's saying, obviously we can't. He says, to be human is to share not only physical but metaphysical form, the very identity of value that is, for example, a precondition for any communication that does not degenerate into an infinite regressive questioning. Thus, we might ask someone, why are you angry? But we are not required to inquire, what do you mean by angry? As the fact of our shared structure of bedrock values means that we all know as humans what being angry means. Bam. Yeah, you think?
And that's completely wrong.
Just the sheer irony of that coming from his own mouth. Of course we don't need to ask, what do you mean by angry? We all know what that it means to be angry. We all know that. It's dude.
That is funny, yeah.
You don't think when people ask you, what do you believe in God? You know what they mean. You know what they mean. You know what they mean. It's not some a tricky question. Just say, I don't know. Say, maybe he does. I don't know. This whole, oh my goodness, what do you mean by believe? It's just, dude, get off your high horse. Just answer the question.
Like Popper would say, if you can't explain it in a succinct way that any layman would understand, then you're basically, there's probably nothing there.
Yes. Yeah. We have basic words that we all know what we mean by that, and when someone asks you, do you believe in God, you know damn well what they mean. You do. And it's fine to say you don't know. It's fine to say, no, I don't, or yes, I do. But to act all well, we can't even know what it means to believe it. Bro, come off it.
Yeah.
Just grow up here and answer the
Just
question.
alienate your Christian audience.
Yes, exactly. Just answer
Stand up.
the question.
Or, yeah.
yeah. Instead of getting all ticked off, like, oh my goodness, the audacity to ask me this question that you have no idea what this means. It's so complex. Bro, but anyway, I just thought that was hilarious.
We'll have to touch on the infinite regress thing later too.
Yeah.
Because you know that's gonna go.
Oh
down.
yeah.
We're gonna throw hands. I have here. I can't remember what context this was in, but I just have a note. Jordan Peterson's problem is that he still believes in facts, and he doesn't realize that everything's just explanations. He still thinks,
believes in facts. What do you mean?
I think this was when he was talking about how AIs they have certain facts they're trained on, but that's not enough. You don't get truth out of facts. You have to have weights and biases in a neural net, which is essentially a story. And I go like, oh, Jordan. There are no facts. All of those things, they're all explanations already. They're just explanations humans made and programmed into the AI. Like, we don't see facts in the world. And he does this well because he got it from Tor Nordstrander's book, The User Illusion. But like, there are too many data points in like sensory, like perception, to like process it at all. There's nothing like our consciousness is maybe like 12 bits a second.
What's the thing that what's that quote? It's our something is the basis of our perception.
Our explanations.
Kind of something like that. It's like the way we have already viewed the world shapes how we currently see the world. If that makes sense.
Sure. Our past stories. It sounds like a Carl Jung quote.
It's
Carl Gustav.
It's something, whatever. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, there's no such thing as foundationless perception.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as pure perception.
And that's his problem, where he thinks that like, oh well, there is pure perception, but like we have to like weed out, like we can only focus on a few things at once. In the like billion bits per second that we actually perceive, we only perceive a few of those bits. Yeah. And it's like, no, even what we do actually perceive, there are 0 bits of like raw data in that. Right. It's sensory perception. Like by the time a photon hits your eye, you've already used an explanation to observe it.
Exactly.
So
it's the reason why if they show if you were to see it, 2 lines at a 45-degree angle intersect each other, and then a line on top.
90. That's a 90 that you showed.
No, I mean like they are coming at a 45-degree angle.
45 degrees to what?
The plane. 45. the bottom is the bottom. 45 degrees to the bottom. That's going to end up being 90 degrees. Because that's how it's 45 degrees. It has to be.
Yeah,
how triangles work.
Okay.
Anyway, this analogy was supposed to be way more simple. It's good. If you have just 2 lines at an angle that intersect each other and then stop right there, and then you have a line at the top, and then maybe like you have like a sun. If you show
a sun,
if you want, if you
in the corner,
if you want. If you show that image to like Western people, they're gonna see, oh, it's like a road, right, going off into the distance.
Oh yeah.
If you show this to like African tribes people, they're just gonna see a triangle.
Or you show it to like African Americans.
Sure. The point.
See both.
Probably. Anyway, it's Juneteenth. Actually, screw it. No, never mind. Anyway,
hold on, I don't have a job yet.
Anyway, the point is the way that's a simple example that shows like how you're raised, just simply how you're raised shapes how you see the world.
Your race?
How you're raised.
Oh, okay.
I mean that too, maybe. But yeah, the idea is that there's no such thing like you were saying earlier as foundationless perception. Everything comes back to some sort of past experience, some sort of past perception, something like that. That is an explanation.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
I don't know if you were interested at all in. He did this like linguistic thing where he was like, well, these words are associated, and like it's not just that.
Isn't one?
This isn't one. It's towards the beginning of one where he's like, look, the word which it is surrounded by a cloud. Of like,
yeah.
And personally, I just thought that was all, again, like a really roundabout way of saying that like words have actual meaning. Like they're
Yeah.
I feel like word association is just kind of a weak way of making arguments.
What's the point he was trying to make there? I have the page. I'm just trying to see.
I don't know. I didn't take any notes on it because I thought it was dumb.
Wait a second. Oh, wait. The real... Okay. Okay. Are the facts more real than the instrument that allows the determination of facts? We see the world through a story.
See, that's his problem.
Yeah.
Not facts.
Yeah. We see the world through a structure as a story. Oh, he's just saying that if the world is seen through a story, I think. Which is... Wow, this is like a lot. He talks about letters, like certain letters will follow another letter.
Yeah.
In the same way, words with different words. And a story, associations. But I'm not sure what he's trying to... what's he trying to say here?
He's just trying to make it relevant by talking about AI. Because this is like Claude Shannon's mathematical theory of communication that he's referencing.
Oh, he's getting into how with symbols. And then archetypes. Yeah.
Speaking of archetypes, he talks about like gender roles, and basically
in one.
Yeah, in one. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe I just thought of this, but like gender roles are a social construct. They're just one that like God gave us.
Yes.
That like God decided like this is how.
They arise naturally because that's how we were naturally made.
Well, see, I don't know if they would arise. I mean, they seem like they arose naturally because they're so well fitted to like biological sex.
No, I mean,
but I think they're like
naturally in the sense of created at nature.
Yeah, but it's not just that they were created.
Mm-hmm.
They're because this is why they're a social construct. Gender roles are the way men and women behave as like
optimally.
Hold on, as kind of like conditioned by society, but they're conditioned in a Western society that's taking that off of like literally like Genesis, where God says like, this is how women are going to behave and this is how men are going to behave.
Right.
Like the man is going to be the head and the woman, she's going to like
do the dishes.
Yeah, the woman will her son will like bruise the heel of the serpent or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I just remember the like, and she's gonna wash the clothes part.
Crazy.
And he's gonna like work in the fields.
Yeah.
And she's gonna gather berries, maybe. I don't know.
Well, she could be doing the dishes still. But,
Sure. There weren't dishes to do back then.
Well,
what did women do before there were dishes? This is a good question.
What did they do?
I mean, they were still clothes.
They couldn't play canasta. They didn't have any cards.
Dude, women used to do all the sewing.
Oh, weaving.
Women used to literally spend all day weaving.
That's right.
And then we had the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden we're weaving everything.
That's why we invented dishes, because there's no more weaving for them to do. Oh, boom, they got dishes.
Yep. And
this thing.
And then we got the dishwasher.
Right.
And so now it's like what?
Dude.
What are these women going to do when they're off protesting now?
Right, yeah, because men do everything better. Yeah, that's you're right.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Join the workforce? Yeah, maybe for like 70 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, exactly. Try to ask for a raise, why don't you?
Putting us on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, quick shout out, like, we do appreciate women, but also...
Oh, we respect them very much.
Yes, we respect them.
I appreciate that they do the dishes.
Yes, exactly. But I also just want to say that, Anyway.
What do you want to say?
I was going to say, to all the women listeners that we have out there, what?
Yes.
We do appreciate you. We do respect you.
She's probably listening to this while doing chores.
Exactly. So I just wanted to say,
whereas the men out there
we're glad we can help you when you're, past the time, because what else they're doing, you're lonely.
Yes.
And your husband's out there.
And if any of you guys are single...
Anyway.
Where were we? Chapter 1?
We were at Chapter 1, and we were talking about... Well, we went on to it. Okay.
He drops Ezer Conegdo.
He does.
I basically
He does.
just, yeah.
Yep. Ideas, given worldview. Oh yeah, he talks about that the validity of a given worldview depends on how well it's realized in the world, which again is his kind of thing where it's who's to say if it's true or not, but it makes us all happy. So that's how we know the Christian worldview is more right than the atheist worldview because it makes things better, and we don't know if it's true or not. Or he might not even say, he wouldn't say we don't know if it's true or not. He would say, well, who cares if it's true or not? We see that like this is what it's doing. That's what we need to pursue. You know?
Yeah.
What do you mean by true? It's doing
That's what I mean by true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the definition of truth.
Exactly. Yeah. Talks about the collective unconscious, which is a big Carl Jung thing.
I don't know if you're ahead of me or behind me yet, but
I'm on page 22, Eve from Adam.
I literally just opened this book for the first time 20 minutes ago.
That's depressing.
It came in the mail, and I was like, I had this box sitting.
See, this is actually sad because when I came, I was really excited. Oh wow, he actually has the book. This is actually
I saw it on Amazon, and I was like, oh shoot,
yeah. He actually like opened it up and read it, and
literally just for the the cinematics of the podcast, so I can prop it up in the background.
Yeah, it's sad.
By the way, if you want to read We Who Wrestle with God, use the link in the show notes to buy it off Amazon, and we'll get that Amazon affiliate kickback.
Hell yeah!
So
because we need that money.
Gosh, we do. We need a new mic.
Yeah, we do. If anyone wants to, we do have a PayPal. We'll put that in the description below. Venmo, all that stuff.
PayPal and Venmo, Max.
Support the show.
What era are you living in?
I don't know, 2010.
We have a Patreon.
That's
we'll be
right.
releasing.
I have heard about that one.
We'll be releasing Patreon specific episodes where we go into AMAs. We'll be giving you guys advice. What's wrong with AMAs? Ask me anything.
Oh.
So guys, they're gonna give us questions like, "Hey, she's an 8, but she doesn't have a left arm. She lost it. She was born without it.
How could she be an 8 without a left arm?
Well, just I don't know, like
that's crazy.
0.6.
If she had an arm, she'd be like what,
ratio.
12?
Well, no, I mean, like, look, if you don't look at the fact that she doesn't have she's missing an arm, like everything, the rest of her is totally
gotcha.
And really, I mean, what do you need a left arm for? Just easier for like.
Well, I'd like to dance with a 2-armed woman, but
I don't think a left arm helps that much in dancing. For a girl, for a guy, you have to have it. But girls don't do that much in dancing.
Well, also too, at fishing in general, I'd like to have a woman who's like has all her body parts
like physically there.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's what my dad always told me. Like, does she have all 4 limbs? Is she a Christian? And is she actually a woman?
Really shooting for the stars there, huh?
He never expected that much of me. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I was never plagued by.
That's like part and parcel what I imagine most Christian guys like doing. Like just that's the definition of settling. That's the definition of settling right there. Yeah. Is she the opposite sex? And does she like me? And is she Christian? Oh geez, let's get hitched.
Is she willing to say she's Christian?
Yeah. All right. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say too, because we do want to get through this chapter. And holy cow, we have okay, yeah.
Speed run.
He talks about Eve coming from Adam and how Eve coming from the side of Adam. Wow, getting choked up thinking about it.
Choked up.
Anyway, Eve coming from the side of Adam shows there.
That doesn't apply to either thing. That's not what getting choked up means. This isn't something to get choked up about. How is that funny?
2 things. One, I meant it in the actual sense of getting choked up, like tearing up. I meant it like that. I don't know what you were thinking about. Like gutter mind.
I was. Hold on. What? No, I'm talking about like literally choking on the food. What are you thinking about? What did you think I was thinking about?
Get it? So this is the thing that I do all the time. Whenever someone's actually like choking or coughing, I'll just say, "Oh, they're getting choked up."
Oh, sure.
Like just as a joke.
It's
but anyway, joke. And this is the second thing. When I am running on not that much sleep, I get very slap happy, and so things that aren't really that funny make me just lose it. Like today at work, there were 2 instances where I was just like almost crying, laughing, even though what was happening was not that funny at all. But anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna finish my point, but you were gonna say something.
I wasn't gonna say anything. You should finish your point.
Yeah. Anyway, Eve coming from the side of Adam shows their equality because she's not coming from like a lower limb. That would imply she's inferior, which kind of.
She's not like the left nut.
Right. Like stuff like that.
Well, sorry, that was a little long.
Yeah. Oh brother. Oh brother. Oh brother. Oh brother. And coming from the head, like Athena from.
That was a good one.
That was yeah. But if she came from the head, like Athena from Zeus, that would imply that she's superior, which is definitely not true. But he makes a more interesting point that, what did he say? That that she's from the unconscious Adam, so she represents and speaks for what is not yet known to Adam. So she points his attention to things that he might not be paying attention to without her, which I thought was interesting.
This is a really... I thought this part was fire.
Mm-hmm.
He goes...
When he gets into the when he gets into the sexes, he's
when he
A+.
talking about the dog mask, I don't know if you got to the dog mask.
I did. That was crazy.
That was fire.
What's going on with Peterson?
What's a dog mask? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
is that the Snapchat filter?
Yeah, right. When he talks about like differences between the sexes and their roles, he spits.
Yeah.
And they go ahead.
There's this like binary of like women find problems, men solve problems, and you like this is just women. Yeah, just women are just better at finding problems, and men are just better at solving them.
Yes.
And men wouldn't be able to see the problems, like the stereotypical like bachelor's like room.
Right.
Like he's never gonna clean it because he just doesn't see the problem.
It's like also the thing like in apartments or homes, like women make apartments or homes feel like a home.
Yes,
right.
They're homemakers.
Exactly. It's like it's in the word. It's definition.
Whereas guys
just
we're home wreckers.
Right. Exactly.
We're out here.
Now, this is just a place to be before I find my wife. That kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. There's a place where I'm gonna find my wife. Anyways, we might have to skip chapter 2. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we should probably be heading out.
Because we should be heading out soon. But we can at least wrap up chapter 1. So the like modern critics like to say like, oh, misogyny, it's the Bible's so misogynistic. Just like the Christian culture, it's patriarchal. It's like, well, actually, we kind of talked about this, how like Eve taken from Adam's side. It's like it's just like throughout the entire creation story that like it's you have to be interpreting the Bible in like the most uncharitable possible light in order to come to the conclusion that it's somehow misogyny.
And 2, he talks about like the portrayal of Adam after the original sin shows how clearly not misogynistic the Bible is.
Yeah,
like it calls
Adam's
him
such a pitiful character.
It calls him out like a loser. Like, oh, she made me do it. You gave her to me. Like, I'm not going to take blame on myself. Like, it's very clear that men and women are equal in their sin and equal in their virtues too.
Yeah, and he does a good job pointing out like archetypal sins of like the female fall sin is like
overly compassionate to everything.
Yeah, thinking that you can be compassionate. You're so compassionate that your compassion stretches out to everything, no matter how evil
whether
it is.
or not they
you
deserve
just
it.
embrace it.
Right.
Yeah, just like, and this is like a trope that like, I mean, it's clearly a left wing like political idea, but just the idea that really bad people they weren't hugged enough as kids or whatever it is. Like we shouldn't be like imprisoning bad people in these like awful prison environments. Like we need to let them out because really society turned them into that. And it's like, well, some people are evil. Maybe all people are evil, but some people, like, there's the margin and then there's the margin of the margin. And it's like, yeah.
Well, it's also the case that plenty of children are raised in abusive homes, but not every single child who's abused goes on to become a terrorist or serial killer or a rapist or a murderer or an abusive father or whatever. Plenty of children move past that. And it goes back to what Peterson was saying earlier that no matter what your circumstances are, you're called to aim upward. Yeah. And just because something bad happened to you in your past, that's no excuse for you to return evil with evil.
Yeah, right. Like the widow. Like no matter how poor you are, you're still called to be generous.
Right.
So, yeah. And then there's the male sin of the fall, which is thinking that you are so good at providing and sacrificing that you can provide and sacrifice no matter what it is that woman asks for.
Right. You can kind of bend the structure of reality to your will. Yeah.
Yeah. And primarily like in service of a mate.
Yeah. It just seemed a little bit like, I feel like the female tendency to sin feels more noble, and the male tendency to sin feels more loserly. Like, I just want to impress this girl. Like, it just seems like, wow, dudes are kind of losers. Like, I get what he's saying, but it feels like, and to a certain extent, he's definitely right.
Maybe that's just because we're guys, and so we think the male sin is
we've all done stupid things for women.
The female sin, it's like, I can fix her. But the male sin, it's like, what a loser.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So then he talks about how like maybe there are certain things that society rests on, certain ideas that we just cannot doubt them, like for our own sanity.
Human rights, yeah.
Yeah, but even like he talks about Chekhov, I don't know, some Russian guy, some Russian writer. How he has a dream where he's like, he looks down.
Tolstoy. Yeah, it is Tolstoy.
He looks down and there's like an infinite abyss below him, and there's nothing to rest on. He knows he's about to fall.
Yeah,
but he looks up and
abyss,
and there's an infinite expanse above him, and he manages to take heart in the fact that there's an infinite expanse. Like, we need something to rest on. Which, funny enough, there was nothing to rest on in that. The whole dream. That's, but you know,
right.
The dreams of poets.
Yeah.
But yeah, all is a woven web of guesses. We don't actually need something to. Well, okay, actually, like, there's nothing to rest on. All like knowledge, all religious knowledge is still a woven web of guesses. All like societal structure, still a woven web of guesses. Like, there is no, like, obviously God is like real and like fundamentally like ultimately true, and like but our knowledge of that has to be faith-based. Like, it's not like we're not born knowing that.
Yeah.
We have to posit that at some point. And it's knowledge just like any other knowledge we have.
Yeah. It's like all knowledge ultimately is grounded in faith.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. So there was a part where he almost kind of swayed me, where I don't even know if it was in this. It might have been in chapter 2, foreshadow. But he was like, well, the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
That's chapter 2, yeah.
So we'll just touch on it.
Yeah.
And because I thought this was a really good argument. Like, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, I always thought it was weird, right? Like, why is the tree of the knowledge of good, like, we're not supposed to know what good and evil is? But his argument was, no. This is the tree, this is the knowledge of why things are good and evil. This is like eating the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is like accessing the source code. It's opening system 32. It's going into and editing the code, the structure of morality. And humans just don't get to do that.
Yeah.
Because even though all knowledge is like ascertainable by humans, we also, he actually quotes Karl Popper.
Yeah.
Shout out the man. The breadth of human knowledge is always finite.
Yeah.
And the breadth of human ignorance is always infinite. And so even though really to know whether like capitalism or communism, really to know that communism doesn't work, we have to test it out. But we shouldn't test it out, because in the same way that we shouldn't test out whether or not a society built on like rape works. Yeah. It's like, no, that's immoral to do that.
Right.
And even critical rationalists agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, that's why we can't. That's why there are certain things we can't question. Sure, we can debate them all we want in our ivory towers, but when it comes to actually like knowing, which is based on like real criticism, is a scientific test. It's disproving it or not.
Right.
And we can't do that with moral issues. It's not. It's completely immoral to do that.
He brings up like Nietzsche, like you can't define your own values. You can't. You're just going to get tyranny and death.
And this is why Nietzsche is so genius. One of the reasons we know he's so genius is because he brings up exactly the wrong idea.
Yes.
His idea
could not be more wrong.
It's so perfectly wrong.
Yeah.
It's like he really struck on something. Like and being completely wrong. That's I mean, getting every question wrong on a test, on a multiple choice test. You know,
you're either you know all the answers, or you're a lunatic or something.
And he was both. He was actually
all of the above. The other interesting thing that he brought up about the knowledge of good and evil is that clearly Adam and Eve already had a sense of good and evil because God told them, don't eat of the tree of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil.
Yes.
Right?
It's not that they didn't know what was good and what was wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought that was kind of nice. I never thought about that because I always knew that it wasn't just like knowing what good and evil was. But I thought that was a nice little insight of it that I never picked up on before. It's like, oh yeah, duh. Like obviously they know what they shouldn't be doing this, right? And it was just kind of a nice little Yeah,
it's not that they got the knowledge of what good and evil were. It's that now they have access to the knowledge of good and evil. They have read-write access instead of just read access. I don't know why the only analogies I can make are computer science.
Yeah, it's almost like you deal with computers.
I don't. I actually don't.
Well, you do.
I'm a mechanical engineer.
More than I do.
Look, I know to you, all STEM seems like, it's all computer nerds.
Yeah.
Man.
It's more computer stuff than I do. I mean, you were
true.
on the computer last time, like your program.
Oh, the Mathematica? I mean,
maybe.
The fact that that's even considered, like, computery.
Yeah. Dude, I'm chronically offline. Like, that doesn't just mean social media. That means, like, devices, too.
Not even,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think this is as good a place as any to end it.
I agree.
I'm too tired.
I'm
ready to
way too tired.
Dive into some dancing.
Yeah, crazy.
So, this has been Max and Smiles.
I'm Max.
And I'm Miles. And we'll see you in a while.
Hell yeah.
Also, before we go, this podcast is sponsored by Athletic Greens, now called AG1. I've been taking AG1 since the day I was born. I've never stopped. Long before they were a sponsor of the podcast, I always took AG1. And one day, I was reading Karl Popper, and he said, all is a woven web of guesses. And I went, yeah, that's right. And then I looked to my left, where my AG1 always sits, and I went, you know what? Except for AG1. AG1 is the one foundational principle that we do not have to criticize because we know it's absolutely right with 100% certainty. And it's that foundational principle for knowledge because it's got so many foundational nutrients for your diet. It really is truly the greatest gift God ever bestowed on us. I was just reading the Gospels the other day, and Jesus actually, he was getting crucified on the cross, and they lifted up a sponge, and in the Gospel of Matthew, it's a sponge of sour wine. But the crazy thing is, I was reading the Gospel of John, and it's literally AG1 soaked. It's an AG1 soaked sponge, and they give it to him, and then that's actually when this is getting really heretical. That's actually when God went, oh wait, that's my son. That's when he became the Son of God. And the thief on his left and right, they were both denying Jesus. They gave AG1 to one of them, immediately turns to Jesus and goes, that's the Son of God. I repent for everything I've done. So if you two want to have the knowledge of good and evil, use code Facts and Smiles on the AG1 store. Get a solid 3% off.
Yeah, what a
Thank
promo.
you.
What a promo. I really hope you never saw it to Israel.
Look, I have a price. That's all I have to say. I have a price and they have money.
Also, to our listeners and viewers out there, don't worry, not all of our sponsors are this bullshit, but we will have better ad reads for you in the future.
Once we have real sponsors, we'll have better ad reads. All right.
Peace out.
Have a good night.